All I'ma say is Big Mel, Big Melanie. Listen, Melanie. That's my favorite. That's my review. That's my whole review. Shout out to Melanie. Ain't she pretty as shit? Hashtag you coming or you not. And my now walk in the door and she
that I always tend to agree with is Charlemagne the God. And something I've seen him say a lot this week and last week on his show is that people are associating Diddy to black culture and what's happening to Diddy to black culture. And he's very much against people saying that because he feels like it's not about black culture. It's about taking down an abuser. And for some reason, I don't agree with that. Now, again, this man is sick mentally. He's a little pervert. He has a little, he's a pervert, and he deserves to pay for what he did to Cassie, beating her ass in that footage. He deserves to pay for, his abuse to women. I am literally not negating that. But the issue that I have is just some of the delight that a lot of black people are taking into the demise of Diddy, Sean Combs, Puffy, Love, whoever the case might be. Now, I'm going to say something that also is probably not popular and that I'm sure people are tired of hearing, but there's a long list of white, rich men who have done the same, if not worse than what Diddy is doing. And we are not seeing other white men delight in doing documentaries on these people. Listen to what I'm saying. It's not because they do it, we should too. It's not because they do it, we should too. But if you really start to dig into the history, past and present, when you have white moguls who are seemingly more so aligned with Diddy, they're protected. But when you have black men out here like Diddy, like Russell Simmons, I'm sure these men are disgusting. We've seen some of the things, obviously, during this trial. But we cannot wait to make sure that the black man is held accountable. We're doing all these think pieces on them. We're helping to dismantle and implode the empire of Diddy. And I feel like a lot of black people are taking delight in it, including 50 Cent. It just doesn't seem like our white counterparts. And listen, I don't have a race in this fight. I'm not a billionaire yet. I'm not a millionaire yet. So this is truly out of my financial tax bracket at the current moment. But at the end of the day, when it comes to black men, especially going through the things that P. Diddy is going through, again, I'm sure a lot of it is deserved. My point is, I don't feel like their counterparts are dragged with the same energy by people who look like them. Again, it don't make it right. Like, none of this shit is right. But the point that I want to drive through is that white people, white men who out here doing this shit, protected. Black men out here doing this shit, Netflix documentary, TMZ documentary, think pieces all on YouTube, putting all his shit out there. Is he an asshole? Yes. Is he a pervert? Yes. But I just don't think nailing this man to the cross for being flawed is the answer. And I definitely don't think nailing him to the cross by people who look like him is the answer. Now, here's the thing.
I just got to talk about one moment in the Diddy doc.
Scared to death. That's how real it is. I think somebody's trying to kill me. I'm waking up paranoid. I'd be really scared. Just be paranoid.
So I did that interview. He's talking to me. The doc places this right before Peterson Auto Museum, March 9th. But you know what? We did that interview on the first album. That's him talking about the street, not the game. That's him talking about, I'm afraid of getting knocked off on the street. The first time I interviewed him, we were sitting in the hallway of his building, and if anybody started walking up, somebody from the crew would go down with a hammer. Who's that? Big said to me, I am afraid of the street. But I gotta be out here. I gotta live. I gotta show him my music. I gotta show him I'm not afraid. But I am definitely afraid. But the doc makes it like that bite about his fear relates to the Big Pac situation and his fear ahead of going to LA. He may have been afraid because he knew that he was in danger being in LA in that moment, but that clip is way out of context. It's from years earlier.
I'm saying this over and over again because it's actually true. Diddy is a motherfucking asshole. And do you think that these people like Marlon Wayans and whoever else who is on his side, do you think that Diddy would do the same for them? Hell no. He wouldn't. But when I see people like Marlon Wayans and I see people like, I think Cedric the Entertainer or somebody who is saying, you know, there's really a campaign out for Diddy to just make sure that his name is no good. People talk about, oh, well, he killed Tupac. Oh, well, he killed Biggie. Can we prove that? Can we literally without a doubt prove that? We can't. That's not on trial. There's a lot of shit that some of your favorite celebrities have done that if they were in the shoes of Diddy, some of y'all favorites, they would be right up there with him.
50 Cent making Diddy documentaries like his own documentary ain't coming out next. Ever wonder what someone could do to make someone shoot them 9 different times? Look at 50 Cent's own history and them 9 shots start making a whole lot of sense. Now Netflix has the same guy making a documentary about Diddy's crimes against women. Let's look at what's in 50's own alleged history and see what might be in his documentary. So he's been accused of putting his hands on women more than once. Back in 2005, the mother of his first kid, Shaniqua Tompkins, said in court papers that he choked her and pushed her to the floor to force her to sign a document. He denied it. In 2013, the mother of another one of his sons, Daphne Joy, called the police on him. Cops showed up to a house with broken chandeliers, furniture, and a kicked-in bedroom door. She said he kicked her and hit her and assaulted her. He's also a pioneer of revenge porn. His most famous legal loss came from a woman named Lastonia Livingston. He got a hold of a private tape she made with her boyfriend and then added his own nasty commentary making fun of her body and posted it online to embarrass her and her baby daddy, Rick Ross. A jury heard how it almost made her want to kill herself and told him to pay her millions of dollars. His response, he wanted to suddenly file for bankruptcy right in the middle of it, trying to get out of paying her money. 50 Cent be out here cyberbullying and slut-shaming people as a hobby. He posted a sexually graphic photo of Tierra Marie to his millions of followers with the caption, "Get the strap." She sued him. He called an ex-girlfriend a tatted up hoe, community P-word, all on Instagram, which she then in turn accused him of beating her. When Megan Thee Stallion was testifying about what happened to her when she was shot, he was bullying her about it. He was mocking her about it. He also mocked a male sexual assault victim. When Terry Crews gave powerful emotional testimony to the Senate about being sexually assaulted by a Hollywood executive, 50 Cent's response was supposed to mean making fun of Terry Crews. In March 2024, his ex Daphne Joy came back with even heavier accusations, writing on Instagram, quote, "Let's put the real focus on your true evil actions of raping me and physically abusing me," end quote. 50 Cent then sued her for defamation, and these are just things that we know about. Imagine what else is out there about 50 Cent. So it's just a little crazy that Netflix is paying this guy to make a documentary about abusive men when he's got a whole laundry list of accusations involving violence against women, revenge porn, and mocking survivors. Given 50's hands-on experience, maybe this isn't him just making a documentary for Netflix. Maybe he's just workshopping his own biopic.
But it's something about the delight that black people are taking on the fall of Diddy. I am not really sitting here arguing Diddy's innocence. What I'm arguing is the optics of how it looks. We are so quick to make sure that our black people take accountability and that they do time and that they're canceled and that their music is taken away from us and that no matter what they brought to the culture positive, that's out the window. We're on that side. Let's just throw them to the trash. We're so quick to do that to people who look like us. And I just hope that this is getting through, because this same thing happens in lower levels. Think about oftentimes black people in corporate America. You know, recently I was looking for a job, a better job. And I reached out to a lot of my black colleagues and some of them actually helped me. But the white people that I reached out to, sending emails, following up with me, contacting people, doing all these things. And I don't want to say this to be like, oh, black people suck. I'm not saying that, but we got to call a thing a thing. It is not uncommon for black people to not want to help other black people. It is not uncommon for the crabs in a barrel syndrome. It's a thing. And it's something twisted in Black people's minds that just really can't understand that we are stronger together. Now, again, I'm not sitting here arguing innocence about Diddy. I really am sitting here arguing Black people's delight in Black people holding, like, you know, being accountable for their crimes, which again, these are crimes and he's serving time. But now we're going to kick this man while he's down. Here's the gag. If you didn't read the fine print in your contract, you know, that's kind of on you. Cassie's being sued allegedly right now for being an abuser to one of the men that was forced to sleep with her, and one of the men that, you know, her and Diddy together may do sexual acts. This is nothing I'm making up. We've seen it in the court, in the trial. You know, Cassie is not fully innocent. And she is now being sued by one of those sex workers who, you know, said that she gave him an STD. She forced him to do things that he didn't want to do. Let's keep it even across the board. I saw on social media, I think on TikTok, somebody was saying, like, you know, what if they made a documentary about 50 Cent? What if they made a documentary about Jay-Z? What if they made a documentary about a lot of your Black favorites? It would be very, very similar. And so are we going to take delight in seeing documentaries come out negative about all these Black men and look at our president? And our president is a good example, right? Because I think that there are a lot of white men who do not agree with a lot of what Trump says and what he does. But you see the difference there? They keep that to themselves. Right or wrong, they're not going to go against him. Right or wrong, they probably should, but there's some type of invisible code that we as Black people just don't be following. I think a lot of white men do not agree with Trump, but they're not going to be talking about it willy-nilly. They may go and vote likely the next term and not vote for him, right? But they're not going to be out here spewing hatred and negative talk about Trump, even if it's warranted. Because there appears to be a sense of loyalty in the white community that the Black community lacks. And I think that that's a big conversation, because I feel like we could be a whole lot further if we had loyalty to each other. Again, I'm trying to focus on, it's not a matter of innocence or non-innocence. It's a matter of moral outrage versus selective outrage. Like, let's make documentaries about all these people who deserve it. And let's start with the one in the office right now. You know, it's crazy. We all saw what happened to Charlie Kirk. And the person who allegedly killed him, where he at? Why are we not doing documentaries on this person? The white guy that killed the president or whoever of United Health Group, they're celebrating him. And again, these are kind of apples and oranges, because they weren't technically abusing people, but they kill people, allegedly. It's just, the list goes on. It's very selective outrage. And I don't know. I want to kind of start the conversation in the comments. I want to see if anything that I said, if you are someone who is very much against Diddy in this whole situation, is there anything that I've said that makes sense to you? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think that Diddy was even on trial for the right things? I feel like if Diddy went to trial for domestic violence and stuff like that, then maybe he would have gotten a longer sentence. But again, this wasn't a situation of let's do what's right for the victims. This is a situation of let's make him an example. Because if this was all about the victims, let's take a portion of the money of the proceeds from this Netflix show and let's donate it. It's a lot of things. I don't know, y'all. This is just a rant. Let me know your thoughts on what I've said here. Keep it respectful, keep it cute in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.